Hi, and welcome back, and thank you for tuning into part two of the introduction to the Firebird trumpet. In the last episode, I basically just showed it to you, showed you what it's all about, gave you a little background and history. And this time I want to get into a little bit of playing. Like I mentioned last time, it's a standard trumpet in the sense that you can play it using just the valves, or you can play it with the slide, but there are certain notes that you just can't get. But first of all, playing it just like a regular trumpet. So, as you can see, regular plain old trumpet. Now, if I were to try to play it just using the slide, first of all, I'm going to sound really bad because I'm not a trombone player. I don't have straight slide technique. But if I were to try, wish me luck. So, as you can see, obviously I avoided those notes that can't be played with just a slide, like A flats and D, low D and C sharp. So it's possible to play it with just a slide, but it's really the fun comes in when you play it using the slide and the valves in conjunction. And when I play Firebird like that, it's I don't want to say I play Indian classical music because I'm not an actual Indian classical musician, but I do play Indian classical influenced music. Stylistically I emulate Indian classical music, and I use the slide to really get the ornaments between the notes. And I want to make sure that all of us are on the same page as far as Indian classical music goes. So I'm going to attempt to condense all of Indian classical music into 30 seconds. There are really all I want to point out is that there are two major streams of Indian classical music. There is Hindustani music, which is the classical music of North India, and there's Carnatic music, which is the classical music of South India. I happen to be South Indian, so most of the terms I'm going to be using are going to be Carnatic terms. I'll obviously explain them in English, and I'll give you the Hindustani word if I happen to know it. And I'm going to link you guys to a little primer that I created about the differences and similarities between Hindustani music and Carnatic music. It's a link I have on my website. I'll link it in the YouTube description as well as in the final credits after I'm done. But I want to make sure that everyone goes through that real quick, just to make sure that we all know when I use certain terms or expressions or where I'm coming from. But basically, my Firebird technique is using the slide to emulate the ornaments that are played in Indian classical music. In Carnatic music, the ornaments just in general are called gamakams or gamakas, which is confusing because in Hindustani music there's a specific ornament called the gamak, and that's not what I'm talking about now. I'm just talking about ornaments in general. For example, the jaru is a slide between two notes. So it can be as simple as or just a slide between two notes. In Hindustani music, this is called a meend. It's basically the same ornament. In addition, there are ornaments called the ahatam, which is just going up a scale, connecting the notes in pairs, kind of like this. And so on and so forth. There are, a number of gamakams, and that's really where the slide in conjunction with the valves becomes really powerful. So right now I'm going to kind of end this here so that it gives everyone a chance to read that little primer that I came up with and listen to a little Indian classical music, whether it be Hindustani or Carnatic. And next time I'll come in and actually we'll play through a couple of ragas or something, and I'll show you how I actually use this in a performance situation. So once again, thank you for tuning in, and I will see you next week.